Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bridge Builders Academy. Today's video is also a very inspiring session that I recently shot with Dr. Anup Shaji, who is currently a PhD scholar at IIT Bombay in biomedical engineering. His area of interest lies in oncology based translational research, and till date, he has delivered dozens of award winning scientific presentations at various national and international scientific meets for his original novel, indigenously developed and promising concept model. He shot a small intro about himself so that it helps you to understand more about him. Let's watch his introduction.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Anup Shaji. I am a doctoral researcher at IIT Bombay. I completed my BDS from Kerala University of Health Sciences back in 2020, and I joined for the master's program here in IIT Bombay. To speak of, I am very much interested in research and innovation during my undergrad years, and that's why I have chosen this field. So my career goal is to work as a clinician scientist, and I hope you will find this video interesting if you are interested to come to IIT or IIT Bombay to speak up, to do your research or to do a master's program in biomedical engineering. Thank you and take care.
So let's dive right into the session to help you understand more about the field of medical engineering and how you can pursue it at IIT. Hi, Dr. Anup. Glad to be with you on the channel and talk about this field of medical engineering. It's a very different field altogether. I've not seen many doctors pursuing it, of course. So, my first question or curiosity will always be around what motivated you to get into this field of medical engineering after dentistry.
Uh, Thank you for having me on the channel, ma'am. To be very honest, in the beginning, I was very interested in innovation during my undergrad years. During my first year itself, I started reading research papers. So I got very curious about how different kinds of science is being used to advance diseases and human nature. During my second year, I kind of gotten very interested in this field. So I approached a few professors, some in some research institutes nearby, so they have told me that actually you can use engineering to solve different kinds of healthcare problems. So I went back and read more about it to understand how exactly can I use my clinical exposure for innovating. In that I came across different kinds of online resources where I've seen people from medical dental background who went on to do engineering in different kinds of colleges, and then they went on to pursue a proper degree, and through that they have come up with different kinds of innovations. I think it's very important to understand that having a very nurtured ecosystem where you're giving the opportunity and given the mentorship, you can actually thrive. So in a dental college we are exposed only to healthcare problems, so I understood that I needed to go somewhere where I can actually explore myself and to understand different kinds of different broaden my understanding and knowledge on sciences so that I can do something on innovation. So that's how I explore different kinds of avenues, and I came to know about some internship opportunities where you can actually work in some specific labs on a temporary basis for 2 to 3 months just to get a hang of it and to understand if you're really cut out for it. So I did some internships like this in two different IITs during my undergrad years. So that's how I understood that, okay, this is something that I'm really interested in. So I did take forward that after my undergrad, I gave my NEET exam, and then through the score, different kinds of IITs had their own admission process. So that's how I got into medical engineering.
That's great. That's amazing. So it's really nice to see that during your undergraduation only you were taking those steps to understand what this area is about, and then glad that you developed your interest and then you're pursuing it. So this is really amazing, and I think it's a take home message for most of the students. If you're watching this today, then if you really want to get into any field, you can utilize your undergraduation during your internship, or whenever you have time in between, understand about the field, like what he's done internship at IITs and understood the field, and then developed his interest towards the field. So that's a very, very good thing that one can apply. Uh, so I want to understand, like, what is the field of medical engineering all about? How is it different from the other bio engineering fields that we have? Say, for example, health informatics. How is it different from health informatics?
Okay, so biomedical engineering, as the term suggests, so we are using medical engineering principles to solve biology or healthcare problems. So in this, there are different kinds of sub branches. There could be something related to medical device innovation. There could be something related to computational biology. There could be something related to artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and different kinds of things. So the basic difference between healthcare informatics and medical engineering is that healthcare informatics can be considered as a sub branch of medical engineering. In that, we are related to data. We are trying to understand what kind of information can be interpreted from these kind of data. So this comes under biomedical engineering itself because there is a branch called as data science and engineering in biomedical engineering itself. So in this, what we're trying to understand is that whatever data we're getting from patients and from hospitals, we're trying to interpret so that we can deliver best result and best kind of compliance to the patients. So in a nutshell, to say biomedical engineering is a very broad branch. So if you're, for example, if you're doing a degree in biomedical engineering, you always have that option to specialize in what kind of sub branch you can. So if you're doing biomedical engineering, you can still specialize in medical data and artificial intelligence and go into healthcare informatics.
Okay, understood. And say when if I'm applying, I'm a fresh dental graduate and I want to apply for M.Tech program. What are the prerequisites that would be required, and will I have to sit for the All India examination?
Okay, so there are two different kinds of mode of entry for a medical or a bio graduate. So first entry is you give your NEET score. For example, after your undergrad is done, you put your internship, then you apply for NEET and then you crack NEET, you submit the score. So the official cutoffs are not released, but average if you're getting a score of 400, 450, it is on a safe side. So after this initial cutoff, they will call you for an initial qualifying exam. So basically, it's just a test where they will test your 11th, 12th physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, fundamental knowledge in science. They just want to make sure that you have a fair bit of understanding of science in general. And then there will be a personalized interview. So this is how the selection process goes. Even if not NEET, you can also apply through GATE exam. Now, BDS graduates are eligible for the GATE Biotechnology and Life Sciences paper. So if that's the case, GATE is a whole different preparation game. So you will have to compete with biotech, BTech graduates and things like that. So there is a requirement of different kinds of preparation. So I think once a BTech graduate is sure that they actually want to pursue a degree in this field, they have to make sure that they either prepare for NEET or GATE. Both will be very difficult. So once they're prepared, the good thing with NEET is that they can also give for their MDS admissions. Also, they can apply for different kinds of courses like biomedical engineering. Because the criteria is that we just need to provide an all India level qualifying score. So for us, it will be either NEET or INIC. So that's how the whole procedure works for admissions.
So using my NEET score itself, I can start the application in M.Tech. I mean, in any of the IITs. Is that what you're trying to?
So yes, ma'am. So I'll actually tell you a little bit brief about how the timeline goes. So mostly it happens either in November or December every year. So the application for this M.Tech program usually starts from March. So for example, if I'm giving the NEET in December 2023, I can apply for the March 2024 admissions in IITs for this biomedical engineering program. So around April, the deadline happens for the applications. Around May, the written test and the interviews happen. So by around June, July, you will get the result, and the classes usually start towards the end of July. So this is how the whole timeline works.
Okay. Okay. I think that's fair enough, because I think most of these master programs will start somewhere around June, July, or August, between that time period
Yes.
itself. Yes. Yes. So what are the key points that one should keep in mind? Like how easy it is for say for a healthcare or a dental graduate to transit into an engineering field. What are the prerequisites that they would be requiring?
Yes, ma'am. So what I've understood from myself and my colleagues who have transitioned from a medical or a dental background to an engineering is that firstly, they have to be really motivated because this is an entirely different field. This is not what we learned in BDS or MBS. So firstly, we have to be very determined that, okay, this is a very different field. So we have to keep ourselves motivated to understand there are going to be a lot of drawbacks and shortcomings. So we have to be strong in math. So this is one of the most important prerequisites because biomedical engineering by itself, since it has engineering, it has math, advanced math, coding. You'll have to learn programming. You'll have to learn basic electronics. So this will be taught in college during your first year. First year will be like a preparatory year where they'll teach you all kinds of basic things from coding, programming, different kinds of electronic system, how to design your own PCB, different other medical devices. How do you get on with this course? In second year is basically very much only project related. So first year you learn all the courses, you learn what kind of requirements are there. In second year you just apply it. So that's how the 2 year M.Tech program duration works. So I think if someone is very interested in this field, I would suggest them to revise their maths, because once you are in a BDS, I suppose like 5.5 years, we must have been out of touch of math. So it is very, because since I was interested in this field, I kind of got that exposure early on. So I had prepared, I had made myself accustomed with these prerequisites early on. So most important prerequisite is that you need to be accustomed with the physics, mathematics, most important, and then understand that okay, these are the engineering subjects that you will have in your first year, and then you just have to, if you have time, you can also read about it. Even also you can do different kinds of short-term internships or workshops to get a hang of it if you're really interested about it, and then you can go ahead with it. So
Okay.
that's how the whole scheme works.
Okay, that's great. That's amazing. So, all you audience understand the prerequisites. If you really want to get into this field of biomedical engineering, you will have to have a good hands-on command on physics and mathematics, as Dr. Anup says. So, you start preparing beforehand, or before you are start applying. I think internship year would be the best time to grasp the basic concepts of if they want to get into engineering, right?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we are living in a very dynamic digital age. So all the resources, all the learning, uh, everything is available online. So it's not that difficult. I think we can really start from the 11th, 12th basics. Then different kinds of videos are available online. You can always look up. Different kinds of books are available as PDFs. So I think this is the perfect time if anybody is interested in different kinds of other than the clinical side, and or they want to apply their clinical knowledge into a different field like engineering. This is the right age to prepare for. And you can also start in your second year or third year, because during that time, getting a hang of foundation will help you learn advanced stuff in your internship.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. I think that's the early you start, the better it is. That's correct.
Yes, exactly.
So, what are the points that you can highlight, like some key highlights or some key points which one should remember while they're applying for an M.Tech course, while they're pursuing the course?
Okay. So firstly, I would suggest that once they have decided for an M.Tech, I think they should forget this MDS for this 2 years, because firstly we have to submit an NDA that we will not be applying for any other course or will not be applying for any other program elsewhere, because our documents will be taken by the institute. So
Hmm.
unless and until we formally quit the program and leave the seat, we will not be getting the documents back.
Okay.
So if one is like sure that they're going to give M.Tech, I would suggest at least for the 2 years of M.Tech program, they should stop thinking about the MDS thing. So second thing is that once okay, they have like taken the decision to come into this field. So I think they should be really prepared for what lies ahead. Try to, I would suggest, talk to seniors, network with people, especially use LinkedIn very uh, usefully, productively use LinkedIn to talk to different kinds of scenes, because there are a lot of medical graduates who have done this course. So they'll be able to guide you better. They'll be able to tell you what you should prepare, how you should prepare in your first, and how you should get yourself accustomed with different kinds of it. Because the thing is, we are sharing classroom with engineering graduates. So they already learned about all these basic things that they teach in first year during their undergrad years itself. So it will be a learning curve for us, but I don't think it's that difficult unless and until we lose the motivation to continue. It will be difficult. But if you're like from the time you decide that you want to go for this program, I would suggest you talk to different kinds of seniors, professors, researchers, try to understand what kind of preparation is required to ace this program. And third thing is, I think it's very important to have a proper career plan, because even for the interviews, they will ask you like what kind of a objective are you having for this course? Like, what are your expectations from this course? Because, for example, for me, I wanted to work as a clinician scientist. So I was very sure that I will be doing a PhD after this. So during my interview, itself, I was very frank about it. So if it is a job, that's also fine, because most of the students that come to IITs, they come for campus placements. Like IITs are known for good salary packages and good job offers. So to just speak a little bit about that side also, so you can expect job in different kinds of medical, healthcare, pharmaceutical sectors. So I'll explain that a little later. But if this is the aim, like you wanna have a like a proper corporate job after this, I think you should prepare accordingly because that preparation itself is a little different ball game. So if it is PhD or research, that's a different ball game altogether again. So if we are to be very sure, like what is the career objective that one wants to have after this course. So I like once they're prepared for the course and once they're prepared for what they want to do after the course, I think that will be more than enough for the preparation and the interview side.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. And you're about to answer my next question, which revolves around the opportunities, as you mentioned. So, what are the various sectors? Like, yes, I understand PhD or research area is one because there's a lot of research going on around medical engineering, around biomedical devices, and so on and so forth. So, apart from that, what are the other opportunities or sectors that one can explore?
Yes. So to be very blunt, the packages and placements will be totally depend upon the skills that one
Yes.
has, okay, or one develops during this course. So I would
Mhm.
suggest for any student who's coming to this course that make your math strong, make your statistics strong. Math and statistics is very important when you code, like for programming and stuff. So if you're looking for a job like data analyst, data scientist, or data engineer in different kinds of companies, I would suggest you to. One second. Sorry for that.
No
So,
problem.
as I was saying, data scientist, data engineer, and data analyst is basically the job roles that which is of highly importance in the industry right now. It could be in either biomedical companies or pharmaceutical companies or medical devices companies. So, like I said, if a student's skill is up to the mark, like it's what exactly the company is looking for. The pay packages could be really good. It could range from 15 to 35 lakhs max, even for a fresher to speak of. So that's how things go. So biomedical sector, medical sector, pharmaceutical sector, the pay packages could vary differently and different. It depends upon the different kinds of companies that come for placements. So you can also get placed in different kinds of international companies like Sysmex in Japan. You can also get companies in US, and it totally depends upon what kind of companies come for placements. But as long as we have the right skills, the opportunities are limitless. So I'll just speak a little bit about the job profiles that the companies come for. So like I mentioned before, something related to data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, what mostly companies come for. They also come for healthcare consultants. So basically, since we have knowledge about biomedical engineering. And for example, if a student is a doctor, I think that gives them an added advantage that they actually have some clinical relevance and they'll be able to contribute better to the company. So healthcare consultant is one other thing. Then also there are different companies that come as for medical engineers, like for medical device innovations or different kinds of other sectors. Also, some companies do come for patent kind of patent scientists, etc. Also, there are a lot of companies that come for R&D, like research and development of different kinds of medical devices and techniques. So these are the roughly job roles that companies come for. But most importantly is that most of the companies that come for, they actually look for relevant programming experience. That can be quite easily because during your first year itself, you have preparatory courses and you can always learn online and then you can build your own projects and build your own portfolio. Then during your placements, then you can actually display them. And during the interview session, there will be some basic test and they'll have some small coding rounds and interview. But that can be easily possible if the student prepares well enough. And there are a lot of seniors who will be able to guide you, and there are a lot of seniors who are already working in this company. So they'll be able to support you in whatever way they can during the preparation phase.
I
So
think, yeah.
that's how the corporate job works. And yeah. And secondly, it's the PhD research, the traditional PhD research in India or abroad. You can go and do research in different kinds of biomedical engineering domains.
Yeah, correct. And during your masters, also, I am assuming that you might be, you might have to write some thesis around, your area of interest. Is that also a part of it?
Yes, ma'am. Like I said, the M.Tech program is 2 year program. First year is the preparatory courses and stuff. Second year is totally related to projects. So this is like the normal thesis research that we do. Once the project is done, we have to give the presentation and then we have to submit the research in a thesis format, and then we graduate. So this is how the whole course structure works. There are other courses like MMST, which is offered by IIT Kharagpur, but it is eligible. The eligibility is that they have to be some MBBS graduates. and it's a 3-year program. So 2 year will be the preparatory coursework, and final year will be the thesis project, and then you have to graduate once you're done with the course requirements.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. And I'm just curious to know, like, how many students are there in one batch?
Uh, to speak of, in my batch, there were around only 23 students, but in my super junior batch and the new batches, there are 31 students. So, roughly, you can say that around 23 to 30 is the rough average.
Okay. And what is the proportion of clinicians doing this field? How many clinicians are there?
Yeah, there will be very less. So, in my batch, I was the only clinician. In my junior batch, there was no one. In my super junior batch, there was one clinician. So, roughly around 1 to 2 is max, but minimum one clinician will be there in every batch.
Okay. So I think still, doctors are still hesitant to get into engineering because what I can recall from, my experience when I was doing dentistry, most of us who are getting into medical field is because they don't like maths. So I can
Yes.
understand, like, going back to, the roots and the mathematics would be a little difficult for not everyone will be comfortable with it and doing that transition.
Yes.
And I feel, yes, absolutely. Like you said, engineering requires that kind of, especially the maths and the science and statistics, is something that will be required lifelong in this field.
Yes, ma'am. Also, mostly they're not aware of. So
Yeah,
these are not very hard to learn. Like once they have a proper structured learning, this can be taught. And also, like mostly we have this tradition that we have to follow MDS after BDS. So we don't get that proper guidance maybe during our undergrad and formative years. What are the career opportunities after BDS? If you do not want to set up a clinic or join for MDS, so there are multiple opportunities. So this is just one of them.
correct, absolutely. And also, like, how is the acceptance from your colleagues, from your faculty when they see, okay, a clinician is doing this engineering role? How do they accept? Do they accept, and how is their, like, how do they interact with you?
Yes, ma'am. So actually, they've already been seeing a lot of clinicians in the past. Like the course has been running since the last 30 to 40 years.
Yeah.
So it's not anything different, but they are very supportive in the sense if you're not proficient in coding or it's the first time, or if you don't know something in math and stuff, they'll be happy to explain. So that is one thing that I've understood is that this program is something where they are very open to learn, teach you something, and it's also very open to also nurture you if you are already good at it. So in for both kind of people who are beginners and experts, they are ready to happy, they're happy to lend a hand, they're happy to support, and they'll be, they're very cooperative. That's what I want to say, that they really want us to succeed. So having such professors, I think that's a boon for students like us who are very new to this field.
Yes, because I think you need that kind of a supportive environment, when you feel,
Yes.
then only you feel motivated and you are also encouraged to, do good in the field. It's like an alien world when you join something which is
Yes.
completely different from what you have been doing for the past 5 years. So, yes, that was
Yes,
the
ma'am.
intent of asking this question. So, do you get that kind of environment to work or not? Yeah.
Yes, yes. IITs, I would definitely recommend IIT to anyone who is looking to go somewhere to learn something new. The environment is really good. We have some of the best students across the country. We have some of the best professors across the country. So whatever it is, whatever facility that you need, the institute will provide. As we just need to keep ourselves motivated. We just need to properly learn, grow, and pass out with flying colors. That's all the institute requires for. And whatever you require, even if it is like an instrument that is not their institute, the institute has a lot of even foreign collaboration. So the work will be done. So there will not be any kind of a roadblock as long as you are interested in doing that work.
Yes, correct. I think that's very good. So what is your area of interest? Like, what is your research area that you're exploring?
Ma'am, currently I'm working on oral cancer immunotherapeutics. So basically, I'm trying to explore immunotherapy for head and neck and oral cancer. So since we don't have much of a relevant clinical data on oral cancer for any immunotherapeutic candidate, so I'm trying to explore that kind of an area and I'm trying to build a drug which can be used for oral cancer in place of surgery and radiotherapy. So
Oh, that's
that's my thesis
great.
topic.
Is it like a digital therapeutics area that involves?
Ma'am, it's something related to immunotherapy. So basically, we're trying to strengthen our immune system to fight the cancer without having much side effects.
Oh, okay, that's great. That's amazing. So, any last thoughts or advice for the students or for the audience, whosoever is interested to pursue this course?
Uh, my advice would be that don't be scared. I understand that this could be very different and overwhelming, but there are a lot of good people here. There are a lot of good things that are waiting for you. This environment is good. Whatever it be, you want a job, you want to do research, or you want to just start up your own company, the institute will support you. So I think it's very important to have this kind of a supportive ecosystem and mentorship. So as long as you're interested in innovation, research and development, you are interested to do something with your clinical knowledge and you want to innovate for the greater good and make a difference, I think this course could really, really help you achieve that. So I would like to wish everyone the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Dr. Anup, for sharing all the insights. This is amazing, the transition that you've done. We don't see, like you said, maybe because of the awareness level, because that's low. We are all entitled to the fact that, okay, after dentistry, we have to get into the traditional modes of, working, either work as a dentist or get into MDS. But exploring other pathways is something that is very important for the students also to know how they can utilize their clinical knowledge and apply in the fields of engineering. So thank you so very much for sharing all the insights and coming on the channel and talking about it.
Thank you so much.
So, all you audience, I hope you have understood this field of medical engineering. And if you have further any questions related to the field or the application process, or anything that comes in your mind, you can always connect with Dr. Anup. I will share his Instagram handle, also LinkedIn profile, in the description box below, so you can connect with him and ask more questions. So, thank you so very much for patiently listening to us today. I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye and good luck.